Hello and welcome to this podcast. I am brand new at podcast and this is number one. Um, I have been a successful blogger since 2010 and I learned uh, on the road, on the way to and from work. I learned how to build a business to and from baseball fields and soccer fields with my kids. And so I just thought it just made sense for me to do a podcast simply because I couldn't be on the internet while I was traveling and I stayed on the road a lot. So I just thought it made sense for you to be able to click a button and listen to a podcast while you're on the go because I know you're as busy as I was. And just to tell you a little bit about me, this podcast is just going to be who I am and how I got started. And you can go to the next podcast to learn the next steps. But today, I just want to tell you about how I built a part-time business on my lunch break. And I was blogging for profits that helped me escape from punching a time clock. You know, a lot of people are looking for freedom in life and they just don't know how to even get started because all they can see in front of them is a full-time job. And that was totally me. I had 2 kids and a husband, and my husband and I were on these crazy shifts. I worked 6 at night till 7 in the morning, and he was swing shifting. So every week he was on a different shift. In between time, we had to sleep somewhere, eat a little bit, and get our kids to the sports activities that they were involved in. And, you know, you're trying to enjoy life at the same time. We were flipping exhausted. And I truly, at this day and age in my life, I don't know how we did it. I really don't. Because I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I finally transitioned to day shift, which I thought would be better. I was wrong because I was getting up at 4 a.m. and I didn't get home until 4 p.m. and I was completely depleted of my energy. By the time I got home, you know, a load of clothes washed, got some supper cooked, when my butt sat on the couch, I was out. I was just not any better shape than I was when I worked night shift. Actually, I think I was more tired. But, you know, I understand we all have limits and we only have so much time in a day. And I was determined to change how I spent the hours in my day. And, you know, like all moms, we feel guilty because we're giving up our family time to invest or to build a part-time business. But I knew that if I could squeeze just a little bit of time in my 24-hour day somewhere, that I could do this. I knew I could because I was on the road 45 minutes every day driving to work, excuse me, and 45 minutes in the afternoon driving home. So I had a mobile university going on inside of my car. That was my office. I was returning phone calls. I was listening to podcasts and anything that was motivational that could change the thinking from employee to entrepreneur. So that was the only thing that I had to keep me focused. And I, every time I hit the time clock, it reminded me why I was doing that. I hated asking somebody for the day off. I didn't like choosing my job over family events, and I was struggling just to balance the daily stuff and to build a business. So I had to figure it out. And this is what I did. And, you know, it may be for you. It may not be for you. But I'm going to share with you my journey. And I hope that you'll join me along. Would love to hear your feedback in the comments. You can also find me over on Facebook, where you could actually have a conversation with me over in Messenger. Because I worked in nursing altogether for a little over 30 years, 25 and a half years at a psychiatric state hospital. And that was a very interesting job. I loved it. I hated it. I enjoyed some of the employees. Some of them I could do without completely in my life. And I'm sure you're like that. If you have a job, you know what I'm talking about. But I was a mom first. I had 2 boys that I absolutely loved to the moon and back. They loved their sports, and my oldest son was in travel baseball. So we had soccer on weekends and baseball during the week. And my husband, the amazing man that he is, has supported me through all of this crazy business journey, because I couldn't have done none of it without him. And social media, thank goodness, is the biggest business tool that I use to run my business on the go. And I had, of course, back then, I had a BlackBerry. Don't hold that against me. They just didn't have an iPhone in my area, so I used what I had. And so I used those simple tools to connect with people, to get in front of people, to get my name out there, and just to engage with people that I would never be able to engage with locally, because literally I talk to people around the globe because of social media. And just recently, my team volume, we hit the $1 million volume month, all in the month of November. $1 million, I would have never thought that we would have seen those kind of sales in a single 30-day period. And I'm just so thankful for a smartphone that it made my on-the-go working life so much easier. So, and you know, what started me on this path was just the shock of it, or the disappointment, maybe is what I should say, is my husband, who was off that weekend, and my two kids loaded up in the car for another ball tournament that I was going to get to miss. And, you know, I had to work that weekend. And that particular day, I cried going to work. And that's not me. I'm not a weepy person, but I was burnt out. I was mad because I was missing the tournament, because I can't get those days back. And, you know, once again, I settled for going to work, and my husband took the kids off to their baseball. And I got to learn about the game through text messaging. Very grateful for text messaging, because that's how we communicated. So I knew I couldn't just quit. I had to learn how to provide value. I had to learn how to blog for profit. And I was exhausted, and that was my constant reminder that I wanted to change careers. So what did I do? I used my lunch break to build a part-time business. You know, I searched for a business coach that could help me build part-time, because I wanted to know the inside secrets of business. And, you know, I hustled to learn everything I could about social media and building my brand, using the blog to tell my story. And I personally added over 100 business people, business members, business partners who are still active today. And I did that into my business without having all the home parties and stuff, because, you know, people roll their eyes back in their head because they want to be nice to you as a friend, but they don't like going to those parties. I don't care who you are. They will come and buy your stuff, and then they'll probably block you so that you can't call them no more. But I didn't have time for the home party thing, so I had to do something different. And so blogging is what I chose to do in social media. So December the 19th, 2014, I was able to retire from nursing. Now, when I say retire, I don't mean quit. I retired after 25 and a half years. That means I had, you know, a pension that would not put us at the same lifestyle that we were used to. So I didn't want to live on the minimum. I was dreaming way bigger. I wanted to travel. I wanted to not have to say the word no to my boys for certain things. And so I blogged on my lunch break, and I would email it to myself at home. And when I'd get home in the afternoon, then I would go in and, you know, edit it and get it put up on the blog, add pictures and links and all that kind of stuff. But it took me a while. It didn't happen overnight. But I was also with a network marketing company that was not doing well. As a matter of fact, they've completely gone under, and they're not even in existence anymore. And so I was scratching and looking for a company that fit me, that fit my lifestyle, something that I believed in and could talk about. And I found that. So with that and my blog together, I was able to generate a six-figure income. No, I didn't do that overnight. It took me 4 years to get to the six-figure level. But since then, we have gone way beyond that. And it's all because I started blogging and using my lunch lunch break, which was 30 minutes when I was on night shift, and it turned into an hour when I was on day shift. So I used the entire hour to build my business. You know, when I first went to day shift, I would go out to eat with the girls, to hang out. And the whole time in my brain, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I could be doing something else. And I was always wishing I was at home so I could get it done. So what I did was, they called me antisocial, and I was not being antisocial. I was just focused on the next phase of my life. And so I stopped going to lunch with the girls. I would go literally sit in my vehicle, or I would drive down the road at the local park so I could make phone calls, listen to podcasts, be able to write my blog. I did whatever I could to steal a few minutes here and there to work on my business, because it was limited. I was already without time. So that is my story. That's how I got started. And I know that it all sounds like it's super easy, but it was a struggle. And I would like to help you miss some of those struggles and not have to climb some of the same mountains that I did. And you can learn more about me over on Angela Brooke, without the S.com. I used my car as a mobile business university, and I hope that I can ride with you back and forth to your job with this podcast. If you would like some of the secrets that has been proven to get more customers, recruit more reps, and make more money in your business opportunity, or if you don't have a business opportunity, by all means, reach out to me and let's see what we've got that may work for you. Thank you for joining me on my very first podcast. I hope that you enjoy Blogging for Profits, and that I bring you the nuggets that you need to move your life forward.